Okay, so today we're building an ant, and we're only using 30 pieces of Legos for this. So I'll move this, and I just wanted you to see what it will look like before we break it apart. So you'll need 6 of these 4-dot regular thickness pieces of Lego. So I'll just call these 4-dot ones. And you need 6 of those. And 6 of these 2-dot Lego pieces, regular thickness, not the thin ones. That's 6 of those as well. Those will be our legs, as you saw, and our feet. Then I'll go ahead and move to the abdomen, which is the ant's butt, and it's the biggest part of the ant. I'm gonna need these 4x2, so they're 8 dots in total, 4x2 pieces that are regular thickness, and I'm gonna need 4 of those, and then 2 of these 4-dot ones, regular thickness, not the thin ones. They're basically like 2 of these put together. So 2 of those. That will be for the abdomen. Then I have this kind of underbelly piece, which is a 4x4, and this one is thin. So a 4x4 piece, which is thin, and it's a square. And then a 3x2 piece, which is also thin. So these 2 pieces are thin, and you can make them the same color, different colors. I chose yellow, greens, and gray because that's what I had. My case was pretty mix matched, so it's whatever you have. And I have 5 of these angled pieces. They're pretty good thickness, and they're 2 across. So it's angled, and it's almost like the size of a regular block if you look at it from behind. So it's the same as these squares from before, just slanted. So 5 of those. That will be for our thorax and for our head. I have 1 of these with the grabbers in the front, usually for like a hinge or for grabbing like a pole or something, but we're using these as our mandible today, and it just has 2 across. So 2. I have a circular piece, which has 4 dots on the top, 1 dot on the bottom. And then I have an 8x2 piece, which is thin as well, similar to these. So it's thin, and it has 16 dots in total. And then I have 2 antennas. You can use whatever you have. I had literally 2 antennas from like a Star Wars set, but if you don't have these, go ahead and use whatever you have available. They will be the antennas. So if you don't even have them, that's fine as well. So we'll start by just reattaching the legs. I grab 1 of these longer pieces, which is the 4-dot one, and the 2-dot, and I just attach at the bottom, and I leave 1 dot on the side of that the foot piece. So I'll go ahead and make those quickly, not too hard. And there's 6 of those because we have an insect, so we have 6 legs, or 3 pairs. Then I'm going to go ahead and grab this 3x2 piece, which has 6 in total. And I'm going to go ahead and attach it to my longer 8x2 piece. I'm just going to attach 1 of the rows at the very edge like that. And I'm going to grab 1 of my 4x2 thicker pieces that I have 4 of, and I'm going to attach it all the way up to the last row of that dark green thin piece. So I should have it like this. It kind of looks like a stair. Once this is over, I'm going to flip And I'm gonna grab my 4x4 square and put it right up at the edge and in the middle of that piece. So I just attached that square to this piece right here, and they're basically touching. Okay, so once you have that, you can flip back over. And the shape that I was making was gonna look something like this with this long piece at the back. So I'll go ahead and stick this one like that. So I have 4 dots hanging over my square. And then I'm gonna go ahead and attach this as if it were a 6-piece, like so. So I have 2 dots, like a whole row of dots that I'm missing right here, and same thing right here. Same thing on the other side, go ahead and attach. So it should look like this. So it's here, missing, point, missing, and then the other point down here. Then I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the thorax, which I'm gonna use 4 of these angled pieces. And I'm gonna leave this dark green space blank and move on to the gray dots. And I'm gonna put my 2 on these 2 and leave the angled part hanging over. Same thing on the other side. And I'm gonna go ahead and do that for all 4, back to back. So now I have my thorax right in the middle. Then we're gonna move on to our head. We'll go ahead and grab that circle piece. It has 4 dots on the top and 1 big one on the bottom. And we'll put that right at the edge for leaving this whole row blank of that gray. So we're attaching, and I should have something that looks like this. Don't break your pieces. Okay, that guy's a little shaky. All good though. So this is what we have so far. I'm gonna set this down for a minute, and I'm gonna grab my last angled piece and my 2 antennas. My 2 antennas will go right on those bumps right there. Right on the bump. And go ahead and grab that 2 piece with the grabbies on the end. That's your jaw, that's the mandible. Also the pincers. And I just attached that right to the front edge. So if you're looking at it sideways, you see that it's scooted up to the angled edge. And now I'll attach my head all the way to the edge of the circle. So there should be a little gap right here, if you see, and the pincers are hanging over. So now you have your head, antennas, face, and the mandible. And now all I have to do is attach my legs. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip over. Now I'm gonna grab 1 pair of legs, and remember these are the feet, so you're not gonna clip that, you're gonna leave that hanging, and you're gonna use this 1 dot right here. And I'm gonna go to this middle space after this green edge and in between the gray piece. So right at the edge of the gray, I'll place this. And then again at the other side, right at the edge of the gray. So see how it's not crossing over to the green? It's right at the edge. And then now I'm gonna see this little green square that we've created. You're gonna go ahead and attach 1 at the corner and the other one at the corner as well. And then same thing on the other side. Oops. Too strong today. Okay, and then same thing at the other side. And you could definitely reinforce this. I kind of made it as simple as possible, so just in case you didn't have too many pieces. And there you go. And you have your ant. So I have my abdomen right here. I have my thorax, and I have the head. And I have my 1, 2, 3 pairs of legs for that ant. And I went ahead and created a scene as you saw in the beginning. And this is my queen ant. You can make a warrior ant, whatever you want. But I had some white Legos, so I made those her eggs. And she's over here laying some eggs. And that's my ant.